Imagine finding a book written 4,000 years ago that could rewrite everything we know about ancient Greece. The Minoans left behind thousands of clay tablets with this mysterious script called Linear A. Linear B was cracked in the 1950s, but Linear A? Still completely unreadable, and more tablets crumble to dust each year. We're watching human history disappear. Today, we're exploring 5 ancient scripts that have stumped the world's greatest linguists for over 200 years, including one so strange it feels like it might not even be from Earth. If ancient mysteries like this get your adrenaline pumping, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. We're exploring history's greatest puzzles every single week, and some of them will absolutely blow your mind. Coming in at number 5 is a script from the heart of one of Europe's most legendary civilizations, Linear A. This is our hard but solvable mystery, used by the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete from around 1800 to 1450 BCE. This script was the backbone of a society that built enormous palaces like Knossos and ruled the Aegean Sea long before the ancient Greeks. The Minoans left behind a ton of amazing artifacts, but their writing remains one of history's greatest puzzles. Linear A is found on hundreds of clay tablets, seals, and even personal items. One Linear A tablet shows a ship with symbols around it. Are those cargo lists, navigation notes, or something else entirely? This symbol appears on just 3 tablets in 400 years. What made it so special? The mystery deepens when you look at its more famous successor, Linear B. In the 1950s, the brilliant linguist Michael Ventris managed to decipher Linear B, revealing it as an early form of Greek. Everyone hoped the key to Linear B would also unlock Linear A. No such luck. While some symbols look similar, plugging in the sounds from Linear B gives you nothing but nonsense. This has led to a stark conclusion. The Minoans almost certainly spoke a completely different and now totally lost language. Cracking it wouldn't just give us their stories, it would reveal an entirely unknown branch of human language, forcing us to redraw the linguistic map of ancient Europe. If we crack Linear A, it could prove the Minoans had a written history 500 years before the Greeks. Just last year, AI made a breakthrough, deciphering the numerical fractions in Linear A for the first time. But the actual words? Still completely unreadable. They might contain the names of kings we've never heard, spoken in their own words. Were they a peaceful matriarchal society like some have guessed? What were their prayers and myths? For a civilization we've only understood through art and architecture, cracking Linear A would be like turning on the lights in a dark room. But while the Minoans left hundreds of tablets, our next civilization left us something even more mysterious. And here's what makes it absolutely terrifying. Every day that passes, more of their cities are buried under modern development. Next on our list, at number 4, we journey to ancient Pakistan and northwest India, home of one of the largest civilizations of the Bronze Age, the Indus Valley Civilization. They built meticulously planned cities with advanced drainage systems that rivaled anything in Egypt or Mesopotamia. And just like those other great civilizations, they had a writing system. The only problem is, we can't read a single word of it. The Indus Valley Script survives on thousands of small artifacts, most famously on square stamp seals carved from stone. These seals show bulls, elephants, and even creatures we've never seen before, like the Indus Valley's unicorn. Alongside these images is a short string of mysterious symbols. We've identified over 400 unique symbols, but are they the name of merchants? Religious spells? Nobody knows. The biggest challenge is that the inscriptions are incredibly short, usually just 4 or 5 symbols, and there's no Rosetta Stone to help with translation. The debate is so fierce that some researchers even argue it might not be a true writing system at all, but just a collection of logos for trade guilds or families. But what's your gut feeling? Will AI crack it in our lifetime? Because the government of Tamil Nadu has offered a $1 million reward for the answer. If we could decipher the Indus script, it would be revolutionary. We could finally learn the real name of this civilization and understand their government and beliefs. It would prove that a vast, literate society thrived independently of Mesopotamia and Egypt, potentially rewriting the very definition of the cradle of civilization. And recent AI analysis revealed something that shocked everyone. While AI hasn't translated the script, it has found a structured syntax, strongly suggesting this is a real language. The whispers of this lost civilization are getting louder, and the hunt for answers is more intense than ever. However, there's one script whose loss might be even more heartbreaking. And trust me, what happened to the people who knew how to read it will break your heart. For our third undeciphered script, we're traveling to the most remote inhabited place on Earth, Easter Island or Rapa Nui. This is the case of heartbreaking loss. This tiny island is famous for its giant stone statues, the Moai, but it holds another equally deep mystery, a unique script known as Rongorongo. First seen by the outside world in the 19th century, Rongorongo is the only known indigenous script developed in Oceania before modern times. The name means to chant out in the old Rapa Nui language. The script is found on about 24 wooden objects now scattered in museums across the globe. See these carved figures? Notice anything weird about the way they're facing? They're written in a rare system called reverse boustrophedon, where you read one line from left to right, then flip the tablet 180 degrees to read the next one. Imagine trying to read this if you didn't know the trick. The tragedy of Rongorongo is that the knowledge to read it was lost in just a few short years. In the 1860s, brutal slave raids devastated the island's population, kidnapping the island's elite, including the scribes who knew the script. By the time anyone tried to document the language, it was too late. The key was lost forever. The race to save this knowledge before it vanished completely is a story that drives us to ensure these lost voices are one day heard. So what secrets do these tablets hold? Some think they contain creation myths, while others suggest they're genealogical records of ruling families. The symbols could even be astronomical data, vital for farming and fishing. Unlocking Rongorongo would give us an unprecedented view into the minds of the people who carved the Moai, a voice that was silenced by tragedy. And here's the detail that nobody can explain. Recent analysis of the wood suggests the script might have been created before Europeans ever arrived on the island, making it one of the few truly independent inventions of writing in human history, proving that the spark of literacy could ignite independently, even in the most isolated corner of the globe. But there's one artifact that makes all other mysteries look simple. Our runner-up is probably the most famous artifact in the world of undeciphered scripts, the Phaistos Disc. This is a true technological anomaly. Discovered in 1908 in a Minoan palace on Crete, the disc is a small, baked clay circle covered on both sides with a spiral of stamped symbols. Dating back to the 2nd millennium BCE, the disc is covered with 241 symbols made from 45 distinct stamps, including a running man, a plumed head, and a ship. And here's the technological mystery. This is the world's first printed text, nearly 3,000 years before Gutenberg. No other object like this has ever been found. And that's exactly what makes it so impossible to read. If true, it would mean the dream of mass communication isn't 500 years old, but 3,500 years old. We just have this one disc with only 241 characters. There isn't enough text for a solid decipherment. Is it a hymn? A magical curse? A few skeptics have even suggested it's an elaborate ancient hoax, though most scholars accept it is authentic. If it's a prayer, it reveals Minoan beliefs. If it's a story, it could be Europe's earliest printed literature. One recent theory claims it's a prayer to a Minoan mother goddess. However, like all the claims before it, this one has been met with heavy skepticism. The core problem won't go away. Without more text, any decipherment is just an educated guess. These symbols have driven brilliant people to sleepless nights. Can you see why? But none of this prepared codebreakers for what's coming next. This manuscript has driven the NSA, CIA, and World War II's best cryptographers to complete failure, and some of them ended up in mental institutions. And now, for the #1 most mysterious script in the world, the Voynich Manuscript. None of the previous mysteries prepared us for this level of ultimate impossibility. Unlike the other scripts, this one isn't ancient. It's a medieval book from the early 15th century, filled with a flowing script seen nowhere else, alongside bizarre illustrations. This manuscript has driven the NSA, CIA, and World War II codebreakers to total failure. Every single one of them has failed. Some of the world's brightest minds became obsessed and never found the answer. This might not be random scribbles. Someone 600 years ago may have hidden something so valuable that they trusted it to the most complex code ever invented. The script is made of about 20 to 30 unique characters, written with a confidence that suggests the author was totally fluent in whatever language this is. The manuscript is divided into sections based on its illustrations. There are botanical sections with drawings of plants that don't exist. Are they extinct species or pure fantasy? There are astronomical sections with strange celestial charts and biological pages, with drawings of nude figures bathing in its strange interconnected tubs. The most disturbing theory about this script is that it could be an alchemist's secret notebook, a lost work of a medieval philosopher, or an elaborate, meaningless hoax. The stakes are unlike any other. Breaking this code might reveal cures for diseases lost in time. If it's a real language, it could be a constructed language centuries older than Esperanto, proving that the desire to build artificial languages is far older than we imagined. If it's a code, what information was so important that it needed this level of encryption? The latest battleground is once again artificial intelligence. Recent AI analysis revealed the script shows patterns consistent with a natural language. It's not just random scribbles. One controversial study even used AI to argue that the manuscript was written in a scrambled form of ancient Hebrew. While a tantalizing lead, the theory has been heavily disputed. And in 2024, multispectral imaging revealed hidden columns that previous owners had tried to decrypt in the 17th century. Even they couldn't crack it. The AI can tell there's a message there, but it still can't tell us what it says. From the sun-drenched palaces of Crete to the most remote island on Earth, these 5 scripts are more than just academic curiosities. They are the last remnants of lost worlds, carrying the stories and knowledge of entire civilizations that have long since vanished. They're a humbling reminder that for all our technology, there are still corners of our own history that remain in shadow. We're cracking new mysteries every day. Which of these 5 scripts keeps you up at night? Tell us which one you'd want to crack first and what secrets you hope it reveals. We cover the stories that textbooks ignore, but your curiosity demands. And trust me, The next breakthrough could come from anyone watching this video right now. This is exactly the kind of mystery our community lives for. If you're ready to explore more hidden chapters of history, subscribe and join us. And speaking of mysteries you'll love, we'll be investigating how cutting-edge AI is getting closer than ever to reading the unreadable. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss it.